It's been 651 days since full capacity was allowed at Jones C. Edwards Stadium. That ends today, though. It's the Hertz home opener as they welcome NC Central of the MEAC. Back here on ESPN Plus, coin toss just took place. Marshall will receive the opening kick along with Dave Wilson. I'm Jake Griffith. Dave, the outside viewer to this may think NC Central has a tall task on their hands. When we talked to head coach Charles Huff earlier in the week, he said, throw that out, ignore that. He's taking this opponent as seriously as he said earlier in the week as the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, and as the coach, you have to say that. But coming into this ball game, Marshall has a distinct advantage. The size advantage, it has the talent advantage.
The Eagles in the road white with the gray pants. Marshall in a nice classic look, the green on the white. A lot of fans in Huntington like what they call the Peapods, the green on green, and they are, of course, sporting the unique military appreciation helmet today, along with a 9/11 decal, with today being the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 tragedy. And there is a look at first-year head coach Charles Huff. We'll talk plenty about him throughout the broadcast. Joins Marshall from Alabama's coaching staff. Marshall all-time, the fourth highest home winning percentage among FBS schools, 170-37 at Jones C. Edwards Stadium. And we are underway. It's the Hertz home opener here on ESPN Plus. And now breaking through with speed and with space, that quickly closes off, but a solid return there, gets it all the way to the 40-yard line. Wells lines up in shotgun. Now will throw it out into a bubble. That's Corey Gamage. Gamage, career high in receptions and yards last week against Navy. And a nice gain near the sticks for Corey Gamage. Empty backfield for Wells. 5 wide receivers, trip split out to the bottom of the screen to the right. Wells looks left, throws it left, and that will move the chains. That's Corey Gamage again. A nice gain of 5 yards there for Gamage. The MEAC did not play football last year due to the COVID-19 pandemic, so a whole year for Richard to prepare for the upcoming season as he took a shot behind the play. And Richard will line up, empty set as the crowd stands on their feet. 5 wide receivers on the field, trip split out wide right. And he fires over the middle, and that's a good hit put on the receiver. I believe that was Corey McCoy coming up from the nickel spot to disrupt that. And Marshall will hurry back up to the line. 3rd down and 7. Wells, 3-step drop, fires over the middle. That's past the sticks, and who else but Corey Gamage. Early on, Gamage has sort of been Wells' security blanket. 3 receptions now for Gamage. 2nd down and 8, a gain of 2 on 1st down for Ali. Marshall into plus territory now as Wells fires to Keaton on a crossing route. And Talik Keaton right near the 30-yard line. A nice pitch and catch. Wells will take the snap and shotgun again, handoff to Ali. And again, Rasheen Ali keeps those legs moving.
Every defense is going to be aware of where he is.
Wells hurry up to the line, takes the snap, hands off to Ali. And again, the rushing game for Marshall producing big chunk plays. It's bounds inside the 10, in fact, right at the 10. Situation coming from
Ali right over the center and guard to the right side. Millette the center, Osborne the guard, and there was nobody on the defensive front to slow him down on 3rd and 1.
Wells, Sheldon Evans checks in the game. And Wells will keep it himself, calls his own number, and Grant Wells finds pay dirt on Marshall's 2nd drive. The Herd leads 6-0.
And the key to that run is Xavier Gaines. Not only can he catch the ball, but the former quarterback is a great blocker in space. Wells literally puts his hand on Xavier Gaines' back, lets him make the block, and he walks in the end zone. Great ball fake there with Evans. Totally fakes everybody out, including the cameraman. And Wells walks in the end zone, but he owes dinner to Xavier Gaines.
Totten averaged 4.5 yards per carry against Alcorn State in week 0. Now lines up to the left of Richard. And will take the handoff, and again met by a host of green shirts. This time spins out of 1-2 tackles and can't beat the 3rd. That'll bring up 3rd down and long. Wells will charge back onto the field, joined alongside Sheldon Evans to his left. 4 wide receivers for Marshall. Tripp split out wide right. And that's where Wells is going with it. Gets it to Jerron Woodyard just shy of the 40-yard line. About 4 yards gained there via the air. Grant Wells finds Woodyard. Excuse me, that's Shadid Ahmed. My apologies. Got my numbers all mixed. Makes the catch of the replay there. Now Wells with tempo fires it over the middle and finds Corey Gamage again. Had a big day against Navy and picking right where he left off at. 4 receptions now for Gamage. As Wells will take the snap, they hurry back to the line. Smart dump off there to Sheldon Evans. And Evans pinballs toward the marker. As Richard again in shotgun. 3 wide receivers to his right, also has his running back to the right. As Freeman stays in the game at running back. And they hand it off to Freeman on the read option. Freeman going nowhere and meeting him in the backfield. That's Elijah Alston. Play clock down to 4, has to move with it. Now Richard stays in the pocket, takes the hit, applying the pressure there from behind. It was E.J. Jackson, the safety, coming up.
Underestimate this NC Central defense.
Wells in shotgun. Sheldon Evans to his left, now fires it out near side, and that's Willie Johnson who tap dances on the line and hauls it in. This was a Marshall offensive line that was graded 6th nationally by Pro Football Focus last year. They only lost Josh Ball to the NFL. Dump out into the flat to Evans, and Evans, a nice pitch and catch. And Dave trips to Wells' left, shotgun set for the redshirt freshman. Again, looks into the flat, this time finds Ali. Rasheen Ali leaps over a guy and tumbles out of bounds. That's close to the sticks. Wells in shotgun, 3 wide receivers, all 3 of them to the bottom of the formation. And now Ahmed goes in motion at the top. Handoff. Looks like they stopped Rasheen Ali short, maybe less than a yard, maybe a yard. Now decision-making time for Marshall, 4th down. You are in plus territory, and it looks like the ever-aggressive Charles Huff says, let's go for it. Wells in shotgun as they hurry to the line. And that's a smart play as they hand off to Ali. Jumps over one would-be tackler, almost a second. Rasheen Ali showing out in game 2.
Well, in the previous play, Jake, it was Khalil Baker, the safety, that had to come up and make the tackle. You're betting you're going to win up front. You get a double down on the tackle on the inside with your guard and tackle. Offensive tackle kicks out the end. Big hole, big game.
Less than a minute to go here in the first quarter. Wells hurries the team up to the line, fires out to the near side. Hauling that in for Marshall. That looks like E.J. Horton. Hurd looking to start the second quarter off on the right foot. They were driving at the end of the first. 3rd and 5 upcoming. It's Wells in shotgun. Wells fires it out, able to find his tight end Xavier Gaines out wide, and that's down inside the 15 to about the 14, and that's another set of first downs for Marshall.
North Carolina Central does a nice job of extending the line of scrimmage, not allowing Evans to get around the corner for a big gain.
Wells quickly back to the line, takes the snap and shotgun, fires through 2 white jerseys and finds Talik Keaton on the near side of the end zone. We saw him in the first quarter force the issue in double coverage. This time almost goes back to the well and a much better result.
This time there was 3 defenders around Keaton, but somehow Wells finds the window and fires it in between all 3 defenders. Sure-handed Talik Keaton is there. Plenty of time for Wells in the pocket, and he just drops it over the defender up front. The safety can't get there in time. And that's what you expect, really, out of Grant Wells. We talked to Coach Huff about Wells this week, and you got to remember, he's to
his right, 4 wide receivers. Marshall has yet to get to the quarterback today, as mentioned, 9 against Navy, and speaking that into existence as Beauplan wrangles Richard to the ground. First sack of the day for the Marshall defense.
Nobody accounted for Abraham Beauplan. He's the linebacker on the outside, 13 tackles a week ago, and he comes off that left tackle edge, and nobody touched him. The tackle goes down on the down block on the inside, the double team on the defensive tackle. That's easy pickings for both players.
Wells coming off his 4th career 300-yard game against Navy. First Marshall quarterback with 300 yards, but no touchdowns since Bernard Morris in 2005. Pitches it out to Ali. Ali gives it up at the end of the run, but they say Ali was down.
Wells to complete.
Wells drops back again, finds Gamage, this time over the middle. Gamage makes one move to make a defender miss and a second, and then is gang tackled down right at about the 30-yard line there. It's like a breeze. Wells will take the snap and shotgun, fakes the handoff to Sheldon Evans, and able to find the receiver on the near side. I think that was Corey Gamage again. It was, and Gamage shoved out of bounds near the 15-yard line. Another first down for Marshall, really finding their groove. Now, receiver goes in motion. That's Keaton. Wells will roll out to his right, finds Rasheen Ali, and Ali will just waltz into the end zone untouched. He'll back it up, 1st and 15 at the 20 here in the second quarter. Richardson's a man in motion. That's the tight end. Now Richard will hand it off to his running back, and a minimal gain. Jamal Curry Elliott, the running back there. 4 wide receivers again, has trips to his left. And dumps it out to Curry Elliott, and you hear the oohs and the ahs from the fans. Met in the backfield. That was Stephen Gilmore, the junior from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Richard comes back on as the tight end goes in motion. Fakes the handoff and will roll to his right. And Marshall picks up their 2nd sack of the game. Hurd fired up about that. Jay-Sean Kaufman, I believe, was he the one on there? Shane Simmons is who it was. They should be blowing out NC Central according to the prognosticators, and Eagles able to keep it close. Can Marshall get points on this drive to extend that lead back? Wells able to find Corey Gamage near the sticks on the far side.
Gains on this inside slot. Keep your eye on him.
Wells looking over the middle, steps up in the pocket and will air it out. Has Talik Keaton and hits him in stride. A beautiful ball from Grant Wells finds Talik Keaton, and Marshall finds 6.
Well, I thought Marshall might go to the tight end. Xavier Gaines on the in route, but Keaton broke to the inside. The safety was too late, getting help over the top, and this time Wells put it on the money.
This throw right here, beautiful spiral and just in stride. That shows why the coaches are so high on Grant Wells.
I think Trayvon Wallace was looking down at Xavier Gaines, not allow the Herd to get the ball back and try to put another score on the board.
They'll stick with 4 wide receivers. Now pressure comes, and losing the ball is Davius Richard, and falling on it is Marshall. Jamari Edwards. There it is, Dave. Exactly what you were talking about, wanting to get the ball back. A lot of people may think it's going to come from a 3 and out, but they forced the turnover.
And again, it was the pressure from the defensive line coming from the backside. They tried to roll Richards away. The pressure was coming up the middle from Simmons, but it was the backside pressure. I think Charlie Gray is the one who got his hand on it.
As Grant Wells will lead the team back out. Trips to the right.
Marshall might go for the jugular right here.
Wells with time, looks and fires over the middle. Ali able to shake out of an arm tackle, and that's a sizable gain for Rasheen Ali. Marshall knocking on the doorstep. So Andrew Sanders will come on to attempt his first field goal of the season. As it's up, on the way, and it's good. That extends the Marshall lead. A 30-7 lead now for the Herd. Inside a minute left to go in this opening half. NC Central back in 2019, 24-zip. You have to go on the road at Howard as well, play Norfolk State at home. As unmarked to the quarterback was Eli Neal charging in, and Davius Richard made a smart business decision there to just get rid of it as soon as he could.
Neal timed that blitz perfect. Marshall was sending backers through both A gaps. Neal timed it perfectly. He nearly took the snap in the backfield, but just nothing downfield. NC Central's taking that out.
Eagles will send 5 on the rush as Wells will flip it. And a nice gain there for Marshall. Ball spot at the 33, 3rd down, 2 yards. Richard in the gun again. And he'll hand it off to his running back, and that's not going anywhere. That Ralph Street coach defensive line stopped that in its tracks, and that should bring up 4th down. Marshall has distributed the ball well in this game. 10 receivers have hauled in at least 1 pass this evening.
And that is a point of emphasis for this offense. Coach Huff earlier this week saying, you know, when you distribute the ball.
And they're able to find the man streaking down the far side, hauling that one in. I believe that's Stone Scarcelli, and it is. Eagles rushed for 207 yards in their Week 0 win, just 12 today. As Richard takes a huge hit as he releases. It looked like that was Charlie Gray in there applying some pressure on him. That'll fall incomplete.
The junior from Edwardsville, Kentucky, they just consistently bring the pressure, does defense coordinator Lance Guidry. NC Central's defense has, to some extent, really held its own here and trying to keep this game somewhat respectable.
As Wells hands it off to Sheldon Evans to get things going after the timeout break. The FCS's 11th best pass defense. And they bring a majority of those players back, have a handful of FBS transfers as firing across the middle is Wells. Able to find his man there in Jaden Harrison. That's the 3rd reception today for Harrison. Marshall has the 1 rushing touchdown today. It's thanks to Grant Wells, the quarterback, as he double clutches and hits Evans on the near side in the flat.
He's going to be a good one. I think Ahmed is going to be one of those good wide receivers we talk about for a couple of years around here.
Wells had pressure coming from behind, still was able to get it out to the near side, and that time he found E.J. Horton, the native of Louisville, Kentucky. 3 wide receivers for Wells. He has 2 to his left and instead opts to hand it off. And that's Knowledge McDaniel. That'll move the chains for Marshall. We'll have to joke knowledge is power, but Knowledge McDaniel does have a nice low center of gravity, keeps those legs moving. He is a powerful running back, and again, we see what Coach Huff was talking about. Several running backs down the depth chart that can play.
Yeah, it is a deep running back room for the herd.
Again, they'll go back to Knowledge McDaniel, and again, keeping those legs churning, and that will generate a nice little standing ovation from the fans here. They appreciate good effort like that.
And McDaniel's one of those guys Marshall fans have seen in spurts. Really would like to get an opportunity to watch him get lathered up, see how effective he can be with that power run game.
Wells has 2 wide receivers to his right, and Knowledge McDaniel, who he'll hand off to again, and Knowledge McDaniel up the gut, takes it all the way down to the 1-yard line, knocking on the doorstep of more points, and it's Knowledge McDaniel again.
Yeah, and it's those big guys up front. Jake, you could have run through that hole. Look at the size of this hole he has to run through. You're looking for a seam as a running back. That is a gaping thoroughfare.
They'll go back to McDaniel. Stiff arms a man and barrels into the end zone. 4 straight rushes for Knowledge McDaniel, and the herd find pay dirt again. Knowledge McDaniel has his first rushing touchdown of the season. As Richard will send the man in motion from the top of the formation, tries to hand it off, and Marshall was waiting in the backfield. Isaiah Totten will lose yards on that. Marshall is getting such a quick jump off the snap, Dave. That's about the 3rd or 4th time in this half alone we've seen Marshall's D-line just in the backfield waiting.
And it's a different guy every time. That time Eric McDuffie's back there. Micah Abraham came off the edge about from his cornerback position. Like Marshall does on offense, you're going to put the...
And we will have a quarterback change. Luke Zaban will come in.
Well, you know, Zaban was leading the team in touchdown passes coming into the game. He's got to get an opportunity here.
And there is first-year head coach Charles Huff looking on. His team with a 30-point lead as Zaban will take it right up the gut on the QB keeper, and that's a successful play to say the least, Dave. Gets across the first down marker and then some. Saban 1 for 3 with a touchdown pass of 30 yards against Navy.
For Saban, a local guy, went to Huntington High here in Huntington, West Virginia. His dad played for Marshall back in the day.
Saban looks left on the bubble screen and finds a man. And a nice set of moves there for Caleb McMillan, the wide receiver, to haul that in, shake free of a couple tacklers. And
coaches who want to watch this are going to go back and watch film later and go, okay, can I trust this player if I need him in a tight spot?
And it looked like the receiver had actually stepped out of bounds prior on that last play, so they bring it back to the original line of scrimmage, and then just like that, NC Central stopped right in their tracks again. It has been tough sledding against this Marshall defense, and that will bring an end to the third quarter. A handoff to Jordan Freeman going nowhere as LeAnthony Williams brings him down. Marshall leads by 30. Saban with 4 wide receivers out there on the field instead decide to hit Payne in the flat, and Ethan Payne has a first down.
And that's what separates the good teams from the great programs, is you have that competitive depth because, hey, man, it's a long season.
Ethan Payne up the middle, now cuts it back to the outside and brought down maybe a step shy of the 45-yard line. That's a first down for Payne. Similar to what we see Charles Huff employing, next guy up. Saban takes the snap. He's looking pass over the middle, and he finds his man. Streaking down the near side, hauled in at the 20 and brought down inside the 10. That was Jaden Harrison. 4 receptions on the evening for Jaden Harrison, and Saban will rush the offense back down to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Saban, he looked over, he looked right, looked over the middle, saw Harrison come home.
Looked like Colby Warrior officially getting credit for the tackle there. Saban rolling to his right, tries to force it into double coverage, and it's picked off in the end zone. And now Green in front of NC Central. Marshall's tight end Garrett Morrell able to chase the man down inside the 5. But that's not what you want to see.
Hey, Garrett Morrell comes from all the way on the other side of the field, chases him down. I know the former quarterback turned tight end had those kind of wheels.
It was Marvin Reed, the defensive back, with the interception. That sets up a 1st and goal scenario here, 6 yards out for NC Central. Option keeper here for Davius Richard, and he coughed the ball up at the goal line. Davius Richard, ball security. Marshall on top of it at the 1, and just like that, the long interception return wiped out.
I thought he was going to score. E.J. Jackson had other ideas. Great, fakes the pitch, takes it up, and Jackson pops him right on the ball. Gray recovers it. Turnover belt for Charlie Gray.
A Gray-to recovery for Charlie Gray. We'll be back.
You don't give up on play. Garrett Morrell didn't give up on the play. He makes the tackle down the 5. It looks like NC Central's destined to score. You force a fumble, you get the ball back, you keep him out of the end zone. That's what.
Knowledge McDaniel, Marshall's leading rusher, along with Rasheen Ali, 45 yards today for McDaniel. And they'll go back to him. Shakes out of an arm tackle, gets close to the 20 at about the 17. After a good interception, especially so close to scoring, it just takes the wind out of your sails.
Yeah, you had a little something positive going there, and just been one of those days.
Saban, took a hard hit, calls his own number, and now flags come in. Still a 15-yard run for Saban as 3 receivers make it 4, that is, on the field. Fires out to a man on the near side who shakes free of several tacklers and finally brought down by NC Central. Well, and I think it's worth noting as we're here late in this contest, Saban will hand it off. We've talked several times about Charles Huff throughout this broadcast. And
you know your beat. You know you can prevent a touchdown. Coaches will live with that.
Saban will fire it out on a rope over there down the seam.
Actually watched way too much of one of his games preparing for an interview. I graded him out pretty well. He didn't seem to agree with my evaluation, but
As Aban will scamper up the middle and get it inside the 10, close to the 5, about the 7.
that's it. You know, it's that offensive lineman mentality. It's that grinder mentality that. And again, he worked his way from the bottom up, and that will earn immediate respect.
Ethan Payne slips through 2 arm tackles and finds his way into the end zone. First touchdown of the year for Payne, and Marshall will add to their lead. Point after coming, a 43-7 lead. The Herd getting it done on the ground again. Now 3 touchdowns today on the ground, Dave.
And the folks like that here. Again, Payne, a local kid, went to high school at Poca, just down the road here from Marshall, gets in the end zone. Local kid scores. Fans appreciate that. Can I trust you to put you in this game? You know, coaches value these opportunities maybe more than the fans do.
Richard will take the snap, hand it off to Curry Elliott, and that's going nowhere fast. And a flag will come out at the end of the play. Tight end will go in motion. That's Macklin. Marshall showing blitz here. As Richard hands it off up the middle on the read option.
It's the sign of the times. It is what it is to sound like a coach who doesn't want to answer a question. You know, once Texas and Oklahoma made that move, the Big 12 either was going to respond or die. And they responded. Now that that piece of the puzzle has been put into place, what happens next? Now does the AAC, you know, look at Conference USA and look at Charlotte or look at Old Dominion and go, boy, you would be good to have here. How does that next domino fall, and how does that impact Conference USA? How does that impact Marshall on down the road? Did not start well for the Herd.
And another new quarterback in for Marshall. That's Cam Fancher, the freshman. And he will race up the middle and get out across the 45, past the first down marker. About Marshall needing to just clean up. And that was a theme in his press conference as well, wanting to clean up the small mistakes, the mental errors, as Fancher fires it out to E.J. Horton on the near side. And that's first down for Marshall.
Marshall's going to run its offense, whether it's 7 minutes left in the game or 17 seconds, and give these young men an opportunity.
Fancher will drop back, likes what he sees over the middle, and finds a man. Able to hit his wide receiver and Caleb Coombs by Marshall against Rhode Island in 2014.
They're on the 23, though.
Fair.
Well, I guess you could take it.
And the clock hits triple zeros. A final score at Jones C. Edwards Stadium, 44-10. Marshall improves to 2-0 on the year. NC Central suffers their first loss of the season.